Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to completely reframe how we think about money. Most of us are taught that finance is this purely math-based field, right? A world of cold, hard spreadsheets and calculators where the data just tells us exactly what to do. But in the real world, financial decisions are almost never made on a spreadsheet. They're made around dinner tables. They're made in moments of high stress. They are massively influenced by our personal history, our ego, and even our pride. So today, we're looking way past the numbers to unlock the actual human psychology behind wealth mastery.
Think about this for a second. Imagine a door opens at a party and a person walks in. And that person literally represents money. How would you treat them? Seriously, would you run away and avoid eye contact? Would you, gossip behind their back? Or maybe use them out of pure desperation when you needed a favor and then just ghost them right after? If you treated a real person like that, they definitely wouldn't stick around. Yet, so many of us treat money with exactly this kind of anxious, avoidant, or even abusive energy. It is time we start treating money with some genuine respect.
Which brings us to part 1, your hidden money story. Let's unlock your financial DNA. To really fix our finances, we actually have to look inward first. We have to look at our deeply ingrained childhood attachment styles and our own personal money stories. Because before you can earn more, you've got to understand the invisible scripts already running in your head. Your financial DNA is so deeply shaped by when and where you were born. It's wild. Like people born in the 1950s, they grew up seeing the stock market do absolutely nothing for years, so naturally they became super cautious. But those born in the 70s, they saw massive booms and turned into eager investors. We all justify our financial choices based on the mental models handed down by our parents and the economy we literally grew up in. So while people definitely do crazy things with money, the truth is nobody's actually crazy. You're really just acting out your own unique history.
But we have to be super aware of how that history might be holding us back. Think about it. How do you physically react when you open a bank statement? Are you taking shallow breaths? Do you get that knot of anxiety in your stomach? Maybe you watched your parents argue over bills, or maybe somewhere along the way you develop this internal belief that making money is bad or that wealthy people are inherently unethical. Here's the kicker. If you subconsciously believe that wealth makes you a bad person, those beliefs will dictate behaviors that keep you completely trapped in scarcity. You'll unconsciously sabotage great opportunities just because you don't want to become the bad guy in your own story.
Moving on to part 2, the psychology of investing, where behavior totally beats intelligence. Now, let's look at how this psychology applies directly to building assets. Because when it comes to investing, success is actually way more about how you behave than what you inherently know. We tend to think great investors are just magically right all the time, but that is a total myth. Have you ever heard of tail events? Basically, this is when a tiny percentage of outlier events accounts for the vast majority of outcomes. Get this, out of nearly 500 stocks Warren Buffett picked over his entire career, just 10, yeah, exactly 10, made the majority of his money. A venture capitalist might have 99 failed startups, but one massive hit covers literally all the losses. The big takeaway here? It is totally okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes, just as long as you survive long enough for those incredibly rare tail events to actually pay off. And surviving? Well, that means paying the price. When the stock market dips, so many people just panic because they view volatility as a fine for doing something wrong. But it's not a fine. It's an admission fee. Think about it like this. If you want a nice new car, you pay the higher price to get the reward, right? Trying to dodge market volatility by constantly jumping in and out is basically like trying to steal the car. Volatility, fear, uncertainty, these are simply the admission fee you have to pay for the long-term rewards of investing. You've got to be willing to accept that emotional price tag.
All right, Section 3, Tactical Rules for Wealth. These are the hard rules you need to break the broke cycle.
The crucial point here is that your mindset absolutely must translate into action. So let's build this into concrete, fast-paced tactical rules you can use right now to protect your financial future. First up, attach rewards to your goals. Just like a 1 rupee coin placed on the stumps motivated a young Sachin Tendulkar to protect his wicket and become an absolute legend, gamifying your goals builds massive momentum. Second, treat banks as your allies. Never, ever let an EMI, your monthly loan installment, bounce. Your salary's very first priority should be protecting your credit score. That is the ultimate proof of your financial strength. You should be checking it regularly for free on platforms like Paisabazaar. And finally, if you really want to completely eliminate your comfort zone, announce your goals publicly. Thomas Edison used to call press conferences to announce inventions before he even built them. Talk about creating inescapable positive pressure to succeed, right?
Let's jump into Section 4, the power of compounding. Time really is your greatest asset.
Remember those tactics we just talked about? They require a runway to actually take off. And nothing illustrates this better than the absolute magic and the math behind compounding. It reveals the completely counterintuitive nature of time. Just look at Jim Simons. He's a hedge fund manager who achieved a staggering 66% annual return. That is triple what Warren Buffett did, yet Simons' net worth is just a tiny fraction of Buffett's. Why? Simply because Buffett started investing when he was just 10 years old. Sure, Buffett's skill is investing, but his actual, undeniable secret weapon is just time. Just to really drive this home, if Jim Simons had started at age 10 and maintained his returns over Buffett's timeline, he would be worth an absurd $63 quintillion. I mean, it's a number so big, it honestly barely even makes sense. This completely proves that time, not just pure intellect or hacking the absolute highest returns, is your ultimate financial multiplier.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, the generosity secret, finding abundance even in the struggle.
Now, I know exactly what some of you might be thinking right now. What if I don't have decades of investments? What if I'm literally 4 months away from going completely broke, maybe even sleeping on a friend's couch? How on earth do you feel abundant when your bank account is sitting at zero? Well, when you lack money, the biggest mindset shift you can possibly make is moving from helplessness to helpfulness. Even with $0, you still have a highly valuable currency: your energy, your joy, your passion. Think about the exhausted executive who just craves that youthful curiosity. You can be generous with your time and your presence. Honestly, simple psychological tricks, like introducing yourself by name, offering genuine recommendations, and just complimenting people, can open incredible doors for you. It's just like this one high-energy waitress who scored 3 lucrative job offers from a single table simply by being super engaged and present.
When you respect money, practice gratitude, and just stay open to possibilities, you start seeing hidden value absolutely everywhere. There's this amazing story about a guy who committed to saying, "I am a magnet for money," every single day. One day, he finds this filthy, beat-up penny sitting on the stairs of a New York subway. Now, most people would just ignore it, right? But he picked it up to show respect for the opportunity. Well, it turned out to be a super rare 1945 wheat penny valued at nearly $4,000. No joke. Abundance really does start with an open mindset.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, True Wealth Over Riches, controlling your ultimate asset.
Let's bring this all together by looking at the stark difference between what society tells us success looks like and the quiet reality of true financial mastery. You see, society absolutely idolizes being rich, and being rich is loud. It's the current income, the flashy cars, the designer clothes, and usually the super high stress that comes with funding that entire lifestyle through huge amounts of debt. But true wealth is quiet. Wealth is the diamond rings you actually decided not to buy. It's the first-class upgrades you declined. It is the hidden, unspent assets that sit quietly in the background, compounding day after day, buying your ultimate freedom. We have got to stop chasing the illusion of easy money. You know the ones, the quick hacks, the overnight crypto bets, that desperate desire for a shortcut. The speed at which you win easy money is the exact speed at which you lose it, simply because you haven't built the internal capacity or the respect needed to actually hold on to it. Instead of trying to make easy money, you have to make money easy. And you do that by expanding your skills, offering massive value, and constantly practicing generosity. Because at the end of the day, all the cash in the world won't cure a miserable internal life. That's exactly why we hear those tragic stories of miserable billionaires jumping from luxury apartments. True wealth really isn't about the number on the screen. It is simply the freedom to wake up every morning and say, "I can do whatever I want today." As Morgan Housel brilliantly puts it, controlling your time is the absolute highest dividend money pays. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Look really closely at your habits, your fears, and your goals. Are you just running on a treadmill, chasing loud, stressful riches, or are you quietly building true, unshakable wealth? What part of your deeply ingrained money story are you going to rewrite today so you can finally step off that treadmill and master your financial future?